He is the first two-hander to ever win a major, Finnish powerhouse Osku Palermo. He captured that title just a few weeks ago, defeating Ryan Schaefer, Sean Rash, and fellow two-hander Jason Belmonte here in Las Vegas at the PBA World Championship. Today, Osku returns, as will Rash and Belmonte, to join Venezuela's Ildemaro Ruiz Jr. in the Power Pack Finals of the PBA Chameleon Open. Can Osku survive and claim his second title at this year's World Series of Bowling? Find out next. Spirited crowd in Las Vegas as we get set for the PBA Chameleon Open as the World Series of Bowling rolls on here at the South Point Casino and Exhibition Hall. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson here with you as we take a look at today's four finalists. Your number 4 seed, Ildemaro Ruiz Jr., the second World Series final for Ruiz, who was the runner-up in last month's Bear Viper Open. The lone American on today's show, the number 3 seed, Sean Rash, a 4-time PBA Tour titleist, making his 3rd appearance in the finals at this year's World Series of Bowling. The number 2 seed, one of the most powerful bowlers on the planet, Osku Palermo, the first two-hander in history to win a major, January's PBA World Championship, which was his 2nd PBA Tour title. And your number 1 seed, another two-hander, ESPY Award winner Jason Belmonte, the Australian, threw a perfect 300 game last month during the Albany division of the PBA World Championship. Take a look at the rules for today's competition. We are back to the eliminator format. Match number 1, Randy, will see all 4 bowlers bowl. The key, don't come in last.
Watch what the other players are doing. Make sure you're not on the bottom of the score sheet. You don't have to finish first. You don't have to have the highest score. You just have to beat one player.
It's a tricky recipe because at times you're bowling not to lose, but if you're bowling not to lose, you can say you're also bowling not to win.
I'm confused. What?
Hang with me. I'll get through it later. The native of Finland, Palermo. It gets there in a hurry and he blows up the rack.
After surviving some close calls early, including a roll-off with Jason Belmonte, Osku Palermo became the first two-hander in history to win a major, scoring a 203-177 victory over Ryan Schaefer in last month's PBA World Championship here in Las Vegas. That tournament contested on the Scorpion oil pattern, but today's contest uses, and is named for, the Chameleon. It's a shorter pattern at 39 feet and one that Randy says is going to favor our 3 power players. Palermo, Sean Rash, and the man stepping up to the line right now, your number 1 seed, Jason Belmonte.
That was one of the fastest ringing 10s I've ever seen. There was like a vortex that was kind of circling the 10 pin that just sucked the 6 pin right off the deck.
There's Ildemaro Ruiz Jr. A few weeks back, finished 2nd at the Bear Viper Open. Left the 9 pin. Don't see that often. Belmonte stepping up to take care of his spare effort in the first. Elmo and Ruiz with spares. Here's our first look at the lone American, Sean Rash.
Oh, that's textbook. Sean Rash representing. I kind of missed the Stuart Williams techno music. You?
Yeah, we heard it a couple weeks ago at the Bear Viper Open when he won. And Rash was in that tournament as well, was playing very well, then just a slight loss of emotional control.
Along with young Ruiz, who finished second.
And Belmo kicks off the second with the strike. That two-handed style he and Palermo share, getting more and more respect every day, but it wasn't always that way, especially when Belmo was a kid.
The coaching staff kind of sat me down and said, do you want to get good at bowling? I said, yeah. Then you have to stop that. So now bowl one-handed. And I remember bowling a few shots one-handed. It was dead straight down the middle. I don't even remember how many pins I knocked over, but I remember it was horrible. I knew then that bowling one-handed, not only was it not for me, it actually upset me. And there was just no way that I would ever change who I am as a bowler and who I am as a two-handed bowler.
Yes, he is. And so is this man, Oscar Palermo, trying to double up here in the second. And he gets it.
What happened there?
There's a look at Oscar's fiance, Veronica Lento, and their beautiful baby girl, Ida.
Well, and just like we've seen in the past with these eliminator matches, it moves fast the first couple of games with 4 players, especially with 3 out of 4 very high-powered players.
Ruiz. He's had some interesting leaves already. Rash takes care of the single pin conversion. Ruiz to close out the second. He gets that conversion. Everybody is clean through 2, including the American, Sean Rash. The PBA Chameleon Championship is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Alka-Seltzer Plus. Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels provide more complete cold relief than NyQuil. By Storm. Bowlers serving bowlers. Storm is the bowler's company. And by Barbazol. Start your day cool with new Arctic Chill shaving cream from Barbazol. Better buy Barbazol. The second straight year we are back in Las Vegas in the South Point Hotel and Casino for the World Series of Bowling. And we flash back now to some of the highlights from the qualifying rounds of the PBA Chameleon Open. Oscar Palermo on fire in the 6-game round of 16, especially in Game 5, where he threw a 289. Oscar entered the final round of match play tied for 9th with Ildemaro Ruiz, but moved all the way up to the number 2 spot and a place in today's finals. Meanwhile, Brian Valenta did his best to make today's telecast with shots like this one. His 226 in Game 6 of the round of 16 meant that Ildemaro Ruiz had to double in the 10th to make the finals. And Ildemaro comes through and advances, finishing just 11 pins ahead of Valenta to take the 4th and final spot here at the PBA Chameleon Open Finals. As for Jason Belmonte, he would average just over 236 for the 14 games of qualifying, finishing 16 pins ahead of Palermo to earn his position as the number 1 seed in today's tournament. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson back here with you. It's early, but you're already noticing an advantage for?
I think the two-handers may have a slight advantage because of the power. And as long as they can stay ahead of the transition, I think they're going to be tough to beat. That power helps them create downlane reaction. And it looks like that's going to be the key in this opening match.
And there is one of those two-handers that Randy mentioned, our leader, Finland's Oscar Palermo, the winner of last month's PBA World Championship here on these very lanes. Top the third, Oscar with the strike.
When you have this much power, Rob, seems like all you have to do is just kind of touch the head pin, and there's a lot of shrapnel.
Opening three-bagger for him. Fellow two-handed bowler Jason Belmonte. Spare strike. Here he is in the third. There's a double for Belmo.
Here is Ildemaro Ruiz Jr. And being here at the World Series of Bowling, a very big deal for the 25-year-old Venezuelan.
When I made the first TV show, it was awesome. You know, I don't have any word for explaining that. It's what I want to be in, and that moment is really special, you know, because we back there in Venezuela, we always see the tour like, you know, the holy grail of the bowling. It's like being heaven.
And a strike for Ruiz here in the third.
Sean Rash. Messenger, yeah!
Well, everybody's good friend. Invite a messenger over to the party, have it take care of the 10-pin, and you're a happy guy.
Life of the party, that messenger, I tell you. Rash and Belmo on another show together here at the World Series of Bowling. We've documented through the last couple months the growing rivalry between these two young stars here on the PBA Tour. Sean not even watching. Pops his head up, and a nasty offering there for Belmo.
Faster side.
2-8-10 left lane, got a little fast. Ball hydroplanes, never makes the corner.
On the right lane, Osku, no.
Boy, that's the only issue you ever see with Jason Belmonte is he gets, at times he gets a little bit fast. And with that kind of rev rate, when he gets a little quick, that ball hydroplanes. But at the same token, Rob, you get too slow with that kind of rev rate and the ball breaks loose and it goes sideways. So that's why it's so extremely important to be choosing the right equipment.
Would you choose to be a two-handed bowler if you were just starting right now?
If I was reincarnated and I came back as a new professional bowler, I would use no thumb.
That's right. Come on.
And two hands. I think it's the way. Okay, maybe not, but I try it.
That's right. Come on.
Ruiz with the double there after opening up with a pair of 9 spares.
I'm not done with your two-handed question. Last year, Mika was Player of the Year and won $250,000 Tournament of Champions and made over $330,000, right? How many hands does he use? One hand.
Oh! Oh!
Heitä vielä huonommin.
This delivering goes a little bit high for Osku, gets a trip there, and that makes that spare a lot easier. Both two-handers leave 6-10s.
Does that tell you something?
They both went through the nose.
Jason looking for the spare here in the 5th. No.
After that quick start, back-to-back open frames.
And sitting at home, that probably doesn't look like that tough of a shot, but as Belmo will tell you, nothing is a gimme out here.
You know, that's another really big misconception, is that we're an easy sport. We're the toughest in the world, by far. I've played them all. I've done every other sport, and I'm not saying that I'll be brilliant at them, but I know if I hit a good shot in any other game that I play, it's going to be exactly where I want it to go, but not in bowling.
Right now, Jason Belmonte at the bottom of the heap looking up.
Rash looking for a triple. Give him a three-bagger.
If this kid can somehow control the emotions, control his heart rate, he can do some really good stuff. He gets too amped up at times. We've seen him before where he just kind of starts to overpower things, starts to rush, gets quick. He needs to stay in the moment.
Ruiz with his third 9 spare. There is Sean. Started off 7-0 on television in his career, and since then has kind of hit some struggles. We take a look at the big board here. The top 3 move on. Belmo, the odd man out right now through 5. 7-10. Nope, just make it a 7.
Well, you can go ahead and translate that, but I'll tell you what happened here. And right now, the two-handers are struggling to hit the pocket. This ball goes through the nose, and again, just a huge, fortunate break to only leave the 7-pin.
Belmo after that open frame on the left lane, gets back on the strike train.
Open back.
Air ball. He didn't see it and didn't expect it. Rash looking for 4 in a row. Aha. Ruiz, as Rash stares that one down. Boy, folks are all over the place right now. This one's coming with heat.
Trying to bounce one of those out of the back of the pit. Really your only chance to make a 4-6 combination.
This one kind of spinning out of control right now. Somebody needs to maybe apply the brakes a little bit here and let everybody catch a breath. Ruiz, difficult shot coming up here in the 6th.
Great cover. Yeah, 3-6, 9-10 is not something you want to shoot a lot of.
Osku steps right up here to begin the 7th. Last time we saw Palermo, he whiffed on the 7-pin. Belmo needing to pick up 20 pins on Ruiz to move on to match 2. Low man eliminated. And here is Jason Belmonte. Last 3 frames, open, open, strike. He was the only one to strike in the 6th. Needs a big one here.
Big 4 was standing there for a second, Rob. What a huge break that is to double up now. Get himself closer and back into this match. Now he pulls to within 11.
Ruiz off back-to-back spares. A little wide right of target.
Well, I think the rev rates on this telecast have destroyed the soil pattern early on. The lanes are going through massive transition.
And there's a lot of bowling left to be had.
And look at how they started, and look at the middle of this game. Everybody started striking early on, and then towards the 5th and 6th frame, the players had trouble just getting a mark. And I think that's due to the high rev rates that we're watching today.
Going after the 2-4-10. Oof, just missed the 10. And he has to sit and watch Rash. And Belmo making a big jump up into third now, and it's Ruiz who's in fourth and on the verge of being eliminated. 3 more frames to go.
A lot of thinking going on out there, Rob.
Maybe too much.
And, you know, again, it's a low score out. These players are really watching their opponent's shots and watching what they're doing, looking at the scoreboard. I mean, just inches away from splitting open frames.
Belmo back up on the left lane.
Big chess match going on.
4-pin in his sights, takes it down. And right next to him, it's Palermo up. Sean Rash, open frame 9 spare. Here he is in the 8th. Leaves the 4-pin.
So close.
None of these guys
So close.
able to just kind of put that final stranglehold on this match and move on. Very tight right now as we close down the 8th. Ruiz. Oh, big strike for the Venezuelan. Rash. Sean's wife in attendance. There's his dad as well, Gene. Gene and Sarah with a great view of this one. And it's going to come down to the final 2 frames. Strike number 5. That messenger had to travel through a couple time zones.
Well, the 10-pin got hit initially, and then the messenger came over and just made sure it went down. And that's a great way to set up the 10th frame by striking in the 9th.
Osku buries all 10. Guys bringing it here in the 9th. A very tight one here in this eliminator format. Rash. Last 3 frames, open, spare, spare.
Good shot.
Sean Rash can now be potentially eliminated if Ruiz strikes here, because that would give Osku, Belmo, and Ruiz all strikes in the 9th frame. Rash the only one not to strike.
Didn't like it.
Now
you can no
forget.
strike. Yeah, you're looking at an open frame here potentially.
Yeah, now it's completely reversed.
Yeah, Ruiz, through the course of the World Series of Bowling here and the shows we've seen him, has made some big spares as his mentor and the living legend Emleto Monicelli watches. Rash drops the 10-pin. So some quiet time for Ruiz to think this one over.
His only chance, in my opinion, he has to convert here.
3-6, 7-10. Not when you want the open frame.
Best he can shoot now, 188. Belmonte's in the 190s. Palermo's in the 2-0s. Rash is in the 2-0s.
There's Osku, your leader.
He's safe and moving on. Belmonte needs a mark and good count. Rash needs good count.
Belmo, your number 1 seed. Working off a strike to begin the 10th.
Shot, man.
And Osku Palermo jumping up from behind the curtain with a new ball.
Belmonte needs to make that 10-pin.
A test shot. See if that'll stay in the bag for Osku. Here's Belmo trying to pick up the spare.
Now he needs 6, and he advances.
Osku is through.
Yeah, he was almost through the back of the masking unit. He threw that ball so hard. That pin deck is taking a beating back there.
Osku, your 2 seed, and now all eyes on Ruiz as he may be done. Belmo will step up to close his effort out here in match 1.
Oh, boy.
We have a possibility of a tie. Just kidding. He wins by 1.
.189 enough to move Belmo on to the next round. It's down to Ruiz and Rash. Here is Ruiz. Money strike.
Yeah, and that was weird. Belmonte takes the plastic ball out, whiffs a head pin, and gets 6, which is just enough.
Here's Rash in the 10th, 9 or better, and he advances.
And that's enough. That gets Sean Rash through.
And Ruiz, your 4 seed, is done. So Osku with the 213 tops in match number 1. He and Sean Rash and Jason Belmonte will move on to match number 2. Belmo, your number 1 seed. The late rally and the late messenger kick. And he moves on to match number 2.